Welcome back to the station. If you just watched this for the first time, I'm not a YouTuber. I've got other stations, the Inner Mind, which is basically me talking about life in general. I've got my DC page, which I've stopped. I'm looking for somebody maybe to take it over. Not DC page, sorry, DC channel. I did have a DC page on Facebook. As you can see, my hair is growing crazy because I'm waiting for all the businesses to go back to normal. Um, so this is me just talking about why I love movies, and of course, if you want me to review a movie, it could be I've seen so many movies from black and whites, musicals, horror, you name it, any genre, I have probably seen it. So if you want to hear my review of that film, then below there'll probably be a host of spoilers. Um, I'm going to try to put now this video you may seem to think is a bit biased, but it's not really, and I'll explain why that is. First of all, as you can tell by the thumbnail, this is about this guy here, Freddie Mercury. Okay, I've got the yellow suit, I've got the costume. I went to the musical. We Will Rock You umpteen times. I've got a lot of DVDs, documentaries, which you can all probably see, most of it in my playlist, which I will be adding to the channel. Um, so keep your eyes open for that. So yeah, I mean, I was a big fan growing up. Um, my father was into it, you know. So when, of course, I heard and I'll tell you an interesting story. I had this wee car, wee Picanto. It was a very, very small car, and I always wanted this car called the Duster because I heard the adverts for it, which was, you know, another one bites the Duster. So I wanted one. My car, the wee car I had, that blew up while I was listening to Queen, and he was actually singing, you know, "Who Wants to Live Forever." So I got my car and stuck a Freddie Mercury sticker to the back window, you know. So anyway, that's different story, you know, interested in that. But that's to show you how much of a fan I am. But of course, you can be a fan and then be so disappointed on somebody taking a product like Bohemian Rhapsody. But the fact that I sort of was okay with this, that I was okay with this film, is because it was done by the band and they respected, they respect the legacy. They were wanting to tell a story. They wanted to make sure that a story was told before they got too old and gone, and then somebody else comes along and paints a picture which wasn't Freddie. Now, you could probably have read the tabloids, read the newspapers and everything else. I would disallow that. All you've got to remember is in the 60s and 70s and whatnot, 80s, people were all doing the same thing. Okay, drugs, booze, the lot. And so when I watched this film, I watched it with some of the family. I watched it with my boy and the missus and her mother and stuff like that. And I must say, at the end of the film, I was crying my eyes out. I looked to my left. There was a big, giant guy. He was sobbing. The music in the theatre, and let's hope the theatre keeps going. We need the cinema. We need to not just stay in the house and stream and everything else. The cinema experience is worthwhile. And we watched it. And yes, you could say that the film, I mean, once you've watched it, you have more of appreciation of the band. And once this film was coming up, there were a lot of talks on YouTube. Everybody was reacting. I think if you wanted a reaction to a Queen video, I mean, there were so many people saying that they hadn't heard of Bohemian Rhapsody before, and they were all doing a reaction to that. And I went, no, everybody must have heard this. But again, there's a generation out there that is into hip hop and stuff and probably wouldn't have wasted their time with it. So I'd like to believe that most of them were genuine, the people who hadn't heard it. And I hope now that those people that have listened to their songs, and we forget how unique they are as a band. For all of us who know Queen and know what state performance they had, we were used to the big crowds, the big fans, but there's a generation out there that didn't know that so many people got together and what a sort of performer that he was, and the fact that most of the band people could sing. And I remember a line that Freddie said is I'm not the leader of the band, I'm just the lead singer. And by this film you can tell that they all had their inputs. They're like the Beatles, they all, apart from the bass player, could sing very well. And that's what drove my ambition. That's what made me get a Queen t-shirt, get the Freddie Mercury outfit, yellow and the white tracksuit bottoms on. Yes, I do have that. And I was thinking about wearing it for this video, but no. The film itself, there's probably a lot of bits that are not accurate. The timeline to the story is probably misplaced, but what they tried to tell in this story was the basics of how they came together, what happened. Order of things is not important. The dates and times are not important. If you watch, for me, the important thing of this film was to get you interested. There is hundreds of documentaries out there and books which is so interesting, so compelling to read. I would recommend the book's away someplace in a drawer. Hold on a second. Right, that's not bad. You can get it cheap. The Definite Biography of Freddie Mercury, done by a friend of theirs. Yes, who's got pictures in it. And the only thing I would love about this film is if they did do a sequel. A lot of people complained that it only went up to a certain time in Freddie's life and not to the very end. But for me, you already knew what was going to happen. And at the end, it still leaves you with hope. And Freddie said to his band members, if you're ever going to make a movie, do whatever you want, but don't make me boring. And in this film, it doesn't make him boring. It makes him, but you do get a sense that he was a troubled guy. And a lot of people probably that are gay in life today are mixed up, feeling lonely. It didn't delve too much into his childhood with his mother. Now, he was sent to a boarding school because his mother wanted the best for him. That didn't really go into the movie, but any documentary will tell you that. And again, it'll be on my playlist. And really, he didn't have a real good connection with his mum until later on. And, in the other country where he came from. So all that was missed out. This was a story not just about Freddie Mercury, but about the band and about the legacy it's left behind and how most people are still celebrating the band. I would love a sequel. The only thing I would say about the film that I would have loved is the director that was doing the Elton John movie, he came on board at the end to finish it off while he was working on Elton John. In the books and in his life, Elton John and Freddie Mercury were the best of friends, and Elton John was there at his bedside. I would love that if they had combined the two sort of actors together in that film, and if they were going to do a sequel, I would get the two actors together in the one movie. There is still a lot of material out there to make another movie. Even though we know what happens, I bet you will still be crying again, and it will end with the band carrying on as they are today. My heart goes out to Brian May, who suffered a heart attack in the last 3 weeks of this, but he's still doing okay, so that's brilliant. So yeah, don't take it quite literally, don't take it to, it's not a documentary movie. They have turned the times of events around and incidents around, but it was in order to create the story. And you had the guy, Michael Michael Myers. And he appears, and he was the one that sort of boosted Bohemian Rhapsody's song in the movie. What was that film? They were in a car and they were singing Bohemian Rhapsody. What was it? No, it's gone. It's gone by me. But he features in the movie, and he was from. I think Michael Myers was Canadian, and a lot of Canadians got the joke from the video "Who Wants to Break Free" when they dressed up as women. A lot of America at the time didn't get that. But that's the sort of British humour that I believe Canada can get it. So yeah, it's brilliant. See the film, then I bet you it gets you excited or interested in the actual real story of Freddie Mercury. So this, of course, trying not to be unbiased, gets a 2 thumbs up for me. It's a magical experience. Just enjoy it. And if you don't cry at the end, then I'm sorry. Then there's going to be no film that's going to make you weep. I mean, I cry at Rocky, put it that way. Okay, so catch you later. Remember, if you've got a film you want to review, just let me know down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. Thank you.